This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
This is episode 617 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast for June 25th, 2024. Welcome to the show. I'm your host tonight. I'm Tracy. And with me I have Lee.
Hello everyone.
I have Michelle.
Hi.
And I have Chris.
What's up?
How's everybody doing?
All I got.
That's all you got.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm a little sad. I just got back from Universal, so happy but sad.
Yeah. I hate that.
It's always that bittersweet moment.
My heart bleeds for you.
Oh, I knew you'd be. I knew you'd be empathetically.
Oh, never.
He's just pathetic.
Zing!
And so it begins.
Play the drums.
Nope, he's just crying now. This is why I'm not allowed to host very often.
Whatever. Get on with it.
Anything new going on with anybody?
No. You're going to make me drop it.
Lies. No.
See, these two don't even know.
I know.
And this is something we don't
Drop
normally
it.
do.
Wait, no, drop
Wait,
it.
did you decide you're coming here?
So, as of 2 hours ago, we are officially booked for this year.
Yes.
Yay!
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yes.
So when do I need to book another trip? Tell me.
Are we going to announce this on here, or are
You
we just
cut
going to
it out.
bleep it out now? So we're coming out the
Why don't you just
6th.
bleep it? No,
Yeah,
just say
yeah,
it
do
and
that.
bleep the whole thing.
Yeah.
So the to the
Damn you. Okay.
Those
Yeah.
are good dates.
I'm coming out because it's my 50th.
So anyway, we're coming out.
Well, you could smell fresh baby, so.
Exactly.
Yes.
2 fresh babies.
Ah,
3 fresh
yay.
babies.
This is Kayla's as well.
Yeah. Baby.
Lots of babies.
Baby.
Please do not, because I will shoot you. You know how I feel about just Bieber.
That's the only song I could think of that had 3 babies in it. Anyway,
Wow.
Dead
wow.
to me. Dead to
Okay.
me. Wow.
I was going to say something there that might potentially put the dates out as well, but I won't.
Mm.
Not that we don't want anybody to know. We just kind of.
It's just crazier coming off from Mardi Gras again.
Tell me about it. I've been trying to get out since the last time. So.
Especially when they're doing it as early as they are this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. You guys get to see some holiday stuff again.
Spoilers. Guess when we're coming out?
Ooh.
Well, that's a long time.
It is.
Okay, everybody just book a trip for the entire
Yeah.
30 days of the holidays, and you might catch them.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not bothered about Horror Nights this year, quite honestly. And I never thought I'd say that.
No.
I'm quite happy to be coming out at a time when I'm not going to be out until 3 o'clock in the morning.
And to be honest, I pushed for this with it being
The big deal.
the big deal and and graduating. So
Yeah.
got to celebrate it with my friends. Okay.
Big celebration time.
Yes.
There will
So, speaking of celebrations, let's start with some PC birthdays. Did you like that?
It was a best transition ever.
Whoa. High praise. We're going to kick off with a new member. On March the 1st, it was April Armstrong's birthday. Happy birthday, April.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, April.
Happy birthday, April.
Getting inundated by those portkey people.
Really?
Yeah.
We're taking over the
They're
world.
infiltrating from the inside.
Yep.
And then on June 25th, we have Leslie Kish's birthday. Happy birthday, Leslie.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And on the 27th, we have Brian Jennings' birthday. Happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Right, off the back of the preview centre opening at the resort, Universal gave us more details of the penultimate land at Epic Universe, which is Dark Universe.
Does anyone find it weird that we've this and another land announced after opening the preview centre? Like, here it is, but here it is.
very weird, I think, because everything is there. It's not like you're hiding anything.
I mean, there was the AR stuff, I guess, wasn't available,
Yeah.
but it's still like, there it is.
Yeah, but it's always a week after something's happened that we find out officially.
To be fair. Anyway, it's alive! Alive!
Next year, Universal will bring its timeless monsters to the present day with the debut of Dark Universe, the most mysterious world of Universal Orlando's newest theme park. This captivating new land will envelop guests in monstrous adventures across various attractions, shops, restaurants, and character meet and greets that will thrill everyone from families to classic monster fans alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number one. That's it. Created by the award-winning Universal creative team in partnership with Universal Pictures, Dark Universe blends the iconic stories of unearthly legends like Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein's monster, and Bride of Frankenstein, and more with a new generation of monsters and characters, including Dr. Victoria Frankenstein, the great-great-granddaughter of the infamous Henry Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
The great Frankenstein, is that how it is?
Technically, I think, Tracy, is that not how it should be pronounced? Frankenstein?
I don't know. I'm not German.
I don't know. Anyway.
Okay. If you're German, let us know. So, Dr. Victoria Frankenstein, the great-great-granddaughter of the infamous Henry Frankenstein, who has continued his misguided experiments. As guests venture through Darkmoor, love the name, the ravaged village within Dark Universe, they'll encounter the characters and subjects of those experiments within a first-of-its-kind theme park environment that offers family-friendly fun while also pushing the boundaries of intensity in a way that only Universal could achieve.
Yes, dear, what?
I have a question. Who's Henry Frankenstein?
Dr. Frankenstein.
No, that's Victor.
Maybe Henry Frankenstein was Victor Frankenstein's dad, and she's his great-great-granddaughter.
Just as I read it, I was like,
Is
that's
that the
not
book
right.
or the movie?
Well, it's the book.
Because these
So
are based on the movies.
Well, it's still...
I think.
it should be correct.
Dr. Henry Frankenstein is the main protagonist in the classic Universal adaptation.
But they changed the name
Oh,
of
no.
it in the novel.
Interesting.
In the movies. That's really weird. Okay.
Yeah, that is weird.
Oh, well. The more you know. How do we pronounce this, by the way?
Darkmoor.
Darkmoor.
Well, it
We'd say
depends.
Darkmoor.
It depends how you want to say it. We're Northern British. You say Darkmoor. Go
I
on,
can
say
tell
it.
you it's going to be Darkmoor.
For you Americans, we're not going to call it that.
Not only is it American, but it's the South. It's Darkmoor.
It's not Darkmoor, though, is it? Because it's British. It's all English legends.
Isn't it Italian?
No?
I thought it was Bavarian.
The Invisible Man's British. I'm pretty sure the Wolfman's in England.
We're the experts, guys. That's why you're listening to us.
It says origin is the Naples, Italy.
Oh,
Wait, which one, though?
Of Victor Frankenstein.
Why is there a little British girl
That's
playing
interesting.
by the lake in...
How do you know she's British?
Because she says, hey up,
Maybe
Frankenstein.
you assume that.
What you up to, lad?
Little Yorkshire lass.
Yeah, hey up, lad, what you doing? Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about the Dark Universe, not the origins of the Universal monsters.
Well, true.
That's the next episode.
Yeah, the literature podcast. I'm starting.
Don't need any more.
What's one more? Welcome to Darkmoor.
Ah,
The journey to Dark Universe begins the moment guests enter its electrifying portal, which harnesses the dark energy of Darkmoor.
get in.
As guests step foot inside, that same energy will pulsate throughout the entire village and connect to the top of Frankenstein Manor, the towering focal point of Dark Universe. Nestled within the blackened stone walls of the town, guests will embark upon unique adventures where they can get made up to look like their favourite monsters, spin through the woods aboard a thrilling family coaster, enjoy unique dining establishments, enter Frankenstein Manor to brave Universal Orlando's most chilling ride ever, and more. More.
More.
Moor.
That one is pronounced. So I'm assuming you guys have watched the fly-through and the video that Universal put out.
Yeah.
I actually didn't because it was released while I was there and I didn't watch
Michelle.
it. And I'm not at all prepared.
Shocking.
But I was at Preview Center and I was able to do the interactive
Okay, so you've seen
thing
it.
with my phone.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that later. But it looks amazing. It looks like Alton Towers. It's funny, Tracy and I.
It really does.
There's a very specific shot in that video, Chris, where it's kind of the camera's panning along Frankenstein Manor with it on the right hand side, and you can see that coaster, and it looks like Alton Towers. I was like, it's Alton Towers.
It even has the towers.
It looks like
it's
Alton
crazy.
Towers.
Chris?
It looks
Huh.
amazing. This park has to open late. Then
excited.
it has to open late to take full advantage of that electricity pulsing
That is
throughout the land.
true.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what's the point?
Right.
Here's some more information about the thrilling yet unsettling attractions and entertainment experiences that await visitors to Dark Universe. Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment. Universal have to give it has to be a title and then Tracy, is that a suffix? A subtitle or a suffix? What is that?
Hang on, let me get back into it.
Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment. It can't just be Monsters Unchained. What is that second bit?
Yeah, that's
Subtitle.
Subtitle or suffix, yeah. Well, suffix is more like, it's more of a subtitle.
Anyway, Universal Orlando's most terrifying attraction yet, this state-of-the-art dark ride takes guests deep into the catacombs of Frankenstein Manor, where Dr. Victoria Frankenstein conducts her twisted experiments. In a vain display of her genius, she invites guests into her laboratory to witness a demonstration of her ability to control monsters. But her plans go awry, because of course they do, because it's a Universal theme park ride. When her attempts to control the most dangerous of monsters, Dracula, fails, unleashing a horde of enraged monsters, guests are then thrust into an intense ride through the darkness as they try to evade the grasps of the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Brides of Dracula, not Frankenstein, and others.
I just got goosebumps. I can't wait.
So this looks
My
like...
boy is a player.
It's going to be what Forbidden Journey was originally going to be. Because Forbidden Journey was supposed to be originally based on Van Helsing, the Hugh Jackman film. And because it bombed, they didn't bother. So it looks like they've kind of kept that idea. And this is what that's going to be. But in that video, I know, Michelle, you haven't seen it. Chris, did you notice they said the most state-of-the-art animatronics ever?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Not that Universal have ever produced, ever.
That's going to be pretty amazing because there's some... Disney's got some incredible animatronics out right now.
That is a very bold
The
statement.
Yeah. That's the one.
Guys, my dream is coming true. This is literally like the baby of Halloween Horror Nights and Daytime Universal, smushed into one.
Well, do you know what, right? So we've talked about on here how the reason that they're doing Monsters houses every year at Halloween Horror Nights is to get people prepped for this. And I am the prime example of how this has done its job. You know, Tracy, that wasn't... we watched all these before we came out for Horror Nights in 2019 for that first Monsters house. We did that Monsters house and it was number 10 on my list that year. And then we had Legends Collide, which was amazing. Monsters on Mask last year, which was phenomenal. And I am, because of those two houses, I am so excited for this land. It has done its job.
So if that's true, does that mean our Monsters house this year is going to have something to do with the creature?
No, apparently it's going to be Victoria Frankenstein.
But we haven't had the creature in anything.
Yeah, I'm sure it's... Lisa Frankenstein. There's a new TV show.
Lisa Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yes.
I knew what you were saying, but I knew it sounded wrong.
But you're right. The only time we've seen Gilman is 2019, and it was a very brief bit at the beginning of that house with a dead tortoise.
So yeah, there's drowned tortoise. never getting over that.
No, we know. But this is
awesome.
Just... yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, this is by far, well, I wouldn't say by far because I'm really excited about the Fantastic Beasts area too, but these Fantastic Beasts and this are like neck and neck for me. Really? How excited I am to see them.
Okay. This is so head and shoulders above everything else for me. Head and shoulders.
Now that I think about it, I think this is a little bit above it because, I mean, I've seen Harry Potter stuff. So that stuff, like that whole magical land isn't going to be as new to me as this is. This is just completely unique and never been done before.
And unlike, like they said in the blurb, unlike any theme park land we've seen, you know, how often have we heard Disney fanatics berating the fact that they never got Beastly Kingdom or that they've always wanted a fifth gate to be a villain land? So that dark side of Disney and Universal are the ones that are actually doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Disney has announced some villain stuff, but of course it's going to take them 40 years, literally.
Is it Raps on the Monorail?
Before it's open. Probably.
Or on the resort buses.
All right. Well, let's hear about the next one. Curse of the Werewolf. Deep in the woods that sit on the edge of Darkmoor, guests will find Curse of the Werewolf, a spinning family coaster inspired by the Wolfman. Guests will enter the encampment of the Guild of Mystics, where they'll be greeted by the Maleva? Don't know.
No idea.
The guild's all-knowing seer and leader, who warns them that they bear the mark of the werewolf. Guests then board a wagon and venture into the forest, racing to escape the werewolves before they become one themselves.
To ride this at night with a full moon is going to be that front row nighttime Velocicoaster ride, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Or Hagrid's After Dark. This is going to become that. Like that badge of honor is I rode Curse of the Werewolf on the full moon at night.
Yes.
With your face painted as the
Oh
werewolf.
yeah.
Oh yes.
It's
Guys,
fun.
we all got to go get our face painted on
And-
our
Yeah.
first epic trip.
If
Well,
that
I'm glad you brought that up. I mean,
Yeah.
that's our next segment
okay,
right here.
I'll hang on then. What I was going to say.
Well, yeah, hang on one sec, right? So speaking of face painting, the Darkmoor Monster Makeup Experience, where guests of all ages can become fashionably monstrous as they don elaborate face paint and temporary tattoos at Darkmoor Monster Makeup Experience. Temporary, Tracy? Tell them something.
Yeah, but they don't have to be
Here.
temporary, do they?
It'd be cool if they weren't.
Monster makers have converted Dr. Pretorius's infamous old lab into a parlor to continue the spirit of his demented experiments, and skilled artisans use their talents to transform guests' outer appearances so that they can showcase their fandom for the universal monsters.
Dr. Pretorius, anyone?
Does not ring a bell.
No.
We need to do a deep dive episode
No.
about all of these characters.
No. I've literally just spent 2 years reading these books and had them destroyed for me.
So Dr. Septimus Pretorius is a fictional character who appears in the Universal film Bride of Frankenstein.
I've not seen that one.
So there you go. So I'm assuming, Tracy, we've talked about this as well. We're assuming that that thing they did in the Five and Dime was the precursor to them testing this. And if that's the price of it, no thank you.
Yeah.
What was the price of that?
It was like $125, I think.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
It was very expensive.
Crazy.
Because like
Which is weird because you can get face painted during Horror Nights
Yeah,
at
but
a
I think
much
right.
cheaper rate.
but
Well,
those face paints are more like clown makeup. Like what?
Yeah, it's
like what is it? Like
Face paint.
yeah, but yeah,
Grease paint, yeah.
grease paint. Whereas this is like spray paint. They use like little air. What are they called? Those little air sprayers.
Air guns. This is giving me very much Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the dark side vibes, as far as like they have an actual like setting for this. It's not just somewhere lit an outside little kiosk. This is like an indoor experience.
Yes.
Where the makeup artists are actually like in character and in costume, and the room itself seems very elaborate. So experience wise, I understand it having a higher price. However, like Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, you also, they have different packages that can include like a costume and all that. So I would guess that they would follow along those lines where you can do different levels.
If they
Hopefully.
have an
Yeah.
expensive package and I could put prosthetics on my child
Mm-hmm.
and then have them flip a switch that has electricity going to the chair saying it's alive, I'll probably do that.
Right? Would that not be so freaking
I
awesome?
would do that. That I'd pay. And I'd be
Or
like,
like, because at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, they'll also do like their nails. I mean, it's like a really big experience. So can you imagine them putting like
I mean, you can
long
do all
nails
that,
on
just do
you
it
for,
more.
like,
yeah, exactly.
werewolf? Or like
Instead
you
of
said, like
sprinkling,
actual
like, little-
prosthetics that have like hair
Yeah.
on it.
I don't think you'll
And
get
instead of like
prosthetics.
sprinkling pixie dust, you just like drops of blood. That'd be fun.
Well, listen, it doesn't say face painting. It says monster makeup experience. And what do we know about horror makeup show?
Mhm.
It's not really all about the grease paint.
Yeah, but they're not going to put prosthetics on people. The cost.
Why couldn't they put some hair?
Not with that attitude.
I don't think
Right?
they will. I think that thing in the Five and Dime is exactly what it's going to be.
Chris, would
Yes.
you, if you went to be made up as Wolfman, would you get half off?
Why? Because he's got a beard.
Yeah, you don't need half his face doing.
Yeah, but
Well,
the
they
other-
would just have to put it
Yeah.
on his head
I was going to say, but
instead.
then again, yeah, they'd have to do his
Yeah.
head, so, yeah.
What
I'm
they would
sorry,
put
I mean,
on
what
the
have you
face,
done
we'll
to
just
her?
go up there.
Maybe I'm an older wolf man who also went bald, you know?
Maybe. That was being horrible. That was a. I wonder.
If they would Bride of Frankenstein my hair, hell yeah.
That'd be cool.
I mean, they could do.
That would be cool.
Right?
I want the tattoos to not be temporary. I'd go for a temporary tattoo.
I think you have to push it as far as Michelle said with like the Bibbidi Boppity Boo boutique in order to make this worth it. Because if it's the same thing that we had at Five and Dime, like you said, Lee, it was too much money for what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
why
if I
build an
pay
entire
even
building?
More money, but do like a way bigger experience, then that's a whole different thing. You open up
Right.
like a different demo that's going to actually do it.
Why build a whole building and like theme it out just for some face paint?
To make money.
I've actually got a thought. The amount of time, if they're Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique type this, the amount of time that is going to take when these parks are going to be incredibly busy for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Are people going to want to pay a higher price to get in, pay a high price for this,
And spend
then
like an hour
it
in
could
there.
be an hour and a half
Yes.
getting ready?
Let me tell you, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique has been around for decades, and it is still just as difficult to get a reservation for that today as it was when it first opened.
Yeah, but I think
I think you'll have people that would do it though.
Yes,
I get what-
100%.
I get
Go to
what-
Disney to get a haircut. all
Yeah,
right?
I get what Tracy's saying.
A
That
haircut.
you're talking
I'm saying-
about a brand new park that no
Yeah,
one's
that's
been
what I'm
to.
saying.
I don't think people are going to want to A, spend more money, and B,
Well,
take
it's not necessarily that. It's the
half
amount.
an hour or an hour out of your day to go and do that when you've got
Half
this
an hour I can see, but an hour and a half. is
brand
a
new
full,
park to go and experience. So maybe it's something
I
that
think-
initially
I think it'll be a
might
build.
not, but eventually will.
Yeah.
I think you underestimate what Americans are willing to spend their
Oh,
money
this is
on.
true.
And
Maybe.
Yeah, we're idiots.
me being in this profession that I'm
Yeah,
in,
but,
Yeah.
but again, it's not the money.
it is unreal
It's-
how much money parents drop on their children to go to this type of thing.
It's,
Yeah.
but
Slap
again,
a food truck and
But you're
half of
not-
America
I'm
will
not
be
talking-
there.
yeah, I'm not
Yes.
talking about the money. I'm talking about the time.
But as they're talking
know.
about parents, and if kids are demand,
No, they do it.
parents will.
The British ways, you teach them. You don't demand.
You know, Americans don't, do they?
If you demand, you don't get.
Sorry, all our American
Goodness.
listeners.
And let me tell you also. So there was a brief time where they allowed adults to do Bibbidi Bobbidi, and then they canceled out because there weren't enough spots for kids.
Oh wow.
So whenever they did like open it up for adults were jumping in there with their princess dresses too.
Uh-huh.
So the thing that's really cool is this is not just catered towards kids like Bibbidi Bobbidi. This is something that
Yeah, with the
adults
temporary tattoos and
will
stuff,
want to
yeah.
do as well.
Yeah.
So this isn't just about watching your kid get all dressed up. This is like, hell yeah, put me in
No,
there. It's
I'm
my
getting
turn.
dressed up, and my
Yeah,
kid's
I would-
watching me. It's like, sit your ass
Yes.
back down.
Yeah.
Daddy's the one
This
who's going to
is-
become Frankenstein.
This is like, grandma, you're watching the kids. Mama's getting made up this time. And yes, people will pay for it. If that's what this is going to be.
But
I
again, that's
guarantee
not.
people will
See,
pay
you're missing
for
the
it.
point. This
That's
isn't what
not-
Tracy's
it's
saying.
not
It's
money
the
at all.
money is
Well, it's the
irrelevant.
time,
it's the
too.
time.
Yes,
I
they'll
get the
do it.
time, yeah,
Hang
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So, if this park opens where you have to book your day well in advance and you can't get another day for 6 months to a year because everybody's booking these days, so it's pre-booked days, and you've only got those hours to get around the entire park, are you going to waste an hour to an hour and a half
Yeah, I don't
doing
see
this?
it doing well
That's
initially.
not the money. I understand that. Because there's a lot of things you can't put a price on those experiences. It's the time. Initially, I don't think it's going to be a big experience like that. I think it's going to be a quick face paint,
Yeah.
and then it'll build up as it becomes more
Yeah.
streamlined. Then the whole thing would build up. That's what I'm trying to say. Initially, though, I don't think people would want to take that amount of time when they might not get back.
It'd be interesting to go
So-
back and watch some of the vlogs who got their faces done there, see how long it actually took from start to finish.
I mean, a good makeup artist with airbrushing, it
20
should.
minutes?
I was going to say, yeah. And they've already got a small amount of design, so it's going to be down.
A
You
few
know,
designs. Did you see the book that was there? There was pages and pages and pages.
Right, 90% of people are going to go for the same half
Probably.
a dozen. So,
I mean, if they
See,
grow
I
it
re-
out to be a Bibbidi Bobbid, is it Bibbidi Bob boutique.
Bibbidi bobbidi booty.
I mean, eventually grow it out to that because, again, like going down that path with, especially if I can do a Universal Monsters thing for my kid or even myself, I think that's kind of a cool experience. Like I would
I'd
probably
do it.
spend. I'm not gonna do it every time, but I'd definitely drop some coin, do it once, do the experience, and
Yep.
I feel like fun.
And I would 100% use it as an hour of my day. Like I think that is something that's just as worth doing that as it is waiting in line to ride a 2-minute ride. But we'll see. We'll see if it ends up just being face paint. I just think that's a really elaborate thing to put together with the building and everything. If literally it's just face paint that's going to take 10 minutes.
You know, another missed opportunity, I think, and I understand why, but it would just be so cool if they actually put like a little tattoo parlor inside.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I get it. I know they can't do all these IPs and stuff like that, and then I get all that. But just in a blue sky era, that would be so cool to have a little tattoo shop.
Yeah.
You know how many people would get tattoos on vacation?
Oh hell yeah! If you had
their favorite monster,
absolutely, I would.
Yeah, I would like to have a tattoo parlor that's actually got a good reputation.
It would.
I know, but I'm alluding to the one that doesn't.
Say it. What you mean, Hart and Huntington?
Yeah.
I do like how we've spent probably 10 minutes ripping this monster makeup experience to bits and didn't actually discuss the coaster prior to it at all.
Coaster?
I know.
Oh no, this coaster looks awesome.
Like literally, Chris went,
but what about face paint?
Yeah, there's a segue here, and I'm taking it, guys. We're just not going to talk about the coaster.
Well, I just like the idea that they're starting the thought that they're start dipping into things that I wish that they have been doing for a long time. All these extra experiences.
Agreed.
So.
I do agree that.
So this is like a pinball wizard. What was the one that was in Dino Land? Primeval World.
Yeah, I think it's been a bit more than that.
No, but I'm saying so that mechanism. I mean that spinning mechanism. But on a
spinning family coaster.
That's gonna be so cool.
The other thing about the whole, Darkmoor and all that, which I think is amazing, is the fact that they own that IP.
Yes.
Right? So they're going to be able to flesh out that land however they want to, which is going to be great. I mean, I think that's why we may be seeing like a lot more experiences, something like that there, rather than getting your face painted like Hermione or something.
Because they don't have to go through legal to approve anything. They literally should be able to approve it themselves.
Yeah, like dress me up as a flying broom.
Is this coaster, this Curse of the Werewolf coaster, it says spinning family coaster, is it the same company building this one that built Guardians of the Galaxy for Disney?
I have no idea.
Mac, I think.
That's building this one?
Yeah.
How the hell do you know that?
Because I know how to read.
She is on a podcast.
So am I, and I don't know that.
I think both coasters are Macs, aren't they? Is it Mac?
Hold on, I'm looking up because if that is the same company, like if they're using the same idea,
it is Mac.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness!
So it's not then. Oh, what's Guardians of the
Point
Galaxy?
Tracy.
Oh yeah.
The Dutch company Vekoma.
Oh, we like Vekoma.
Yeah, we have a lot of Vekomas over here.
Yeah, we're fans of Vekoma.
Interesting. Yeah, Mac
so it's not the same thing, but I think it's probably going to be the same style. And if that's the case, oh my God, Guardians is my favorite ride ever.
Is Guardians a spinning one as well, or no?
Yes, and it's so smooth and like perfect.
It does worry me spinning on a coaster. Like coasters are enough. We don't need to add spinning. Thanks very much.
No, okay. If you ride Guardians, it's not like Men in Black spinning. Like it spins controlled in a programmed way. It's not free spinning.
It augments the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it spins you in a way that makes the movements of the track like just so much more enhanced, and it's just you get off and you're just like, oh my God, that was so freaking cool.
I know there's
I hope it's the same idea.
Every time.
There's going to be show scenes in it as well, which it'll probably turn to show you them. I know in the video, in the concept art, they showed like a. They allowed to use the word gypsy anymore, like a Romany
traveller
thing.
The caravan.
When you go past that, so there's going to be those bits in it. So I don't know.
Which Guardians does that too, but it doesn't stop. So there are screens that you may slow down to go by, like slightly, but it's not like Gringotts where you stop.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm imagining things with it spinning, things like Wolfman reaching out and swiping at the car and giving it a bit of a nudge and a turn as it
That would be cool.
goes past. Or
Right.
goes around a corner.
Yeah,
so you-
anyone.
Yeah.
yeah, but one that works.
There's that Yeti again.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for this one. Yeah.
This is going to be cool. If it's a similar idea, it's going to be very cool. It's just the best
I'm a
Yeah.
big
best feeling in the world.
I'm a big fan of the fact that a lot of these coasters, all of them, don't go upside down. And it sounds weird, but I could probably
I hadn't
handle
realised
more
that.
rides on coasters that don't necessarily have inversions. That makes me quite happy.
Okay.
Because if the coaster doesn't, as we know with Wicker Man at Alton Towers or something like that, or even Hagrid's, a coaster doesn't have to have inversions to be fun and exciting. I think that's the problem. They don't necessarily have to be intense coasters, just fun. And I think that's what they're going with Epic Universe. They're just fun
You
coasters.
said they don't have to be intense. I was going to say, just like Mako. That's pretty intense.
It is. I mean, to be fair, Velocicoaster is, but not everything has to be that.
It is the inversions
Hagrid.
that
I
actually
find
get me on
Hagrid's to be
Velocicoaster.
not intense, but amazing.
Fun. It just
Exactly.
needs to be fun. You just need to have fun on it.
Yeah.
And I
Just
like the
thrilling
fact
it, yeah.
that they
Yeah.
haven't gone down that necessarily over, like trying to, like, Velocicoaster's the best thing we've done. Let's try and outdo
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So the only one at this park that has inversions that we know of is Stardust Racers.
I'm still not going to call it that, by the way. Does Stardust Racers have inversions?
Doesn't it?
Is that the dueling one?
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
it does.
Huh. I'd be surprised if there
I
wasn't
think
one.
there's one of the top hats has kind of you go up and then make a hard left where you're almost inverted.
So it's more like
Okay.
Rip Ride.
Like
More
an-
like a rip ride, I think. I don't see like maybe one here.
it has one inversion according to Wikipedia.
Okay.
The funny enough is also a Mack ride.
I told you there was another Mack ride in the park.
Yeah, apparently it has each coaster of the two has
One inversion.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that's part of where they pass by each other
Okay,
is
interesting.
during the inversion.
Cool.
I'm happy that though. Like I say, it means I can ride. I should be able to ride more often.
Yeah, and it makes it more accessible for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
It
And I
also
think-
means that height restrictions should be,
Lower. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's definitely more family friendly as
that
well.
makes me happier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So meet the monsters. There's always someone or something looming in the shadows of Dark Universe, including monsters who are eager to meet and greet everyone from kids to adults, including Dr. Victoria Frankenstein's monster and the alluring Bride of Frankenstein. Guests will also encounter other unusual inhabitants roaming the eerie village, including Victoria Frankenstein's servant Igor, the Invisible Man, an eccentric monster hunter, and a talented musician who regales guests with songs and tales of the classic Universal Monsters stories.
I have to ask, how the do you know the Invisible Man's in there?
He's just loitering in the toilets.
That's wrong. But okay. I love the fact that there's going to be characters other than the monsters, like a monster hunter, kind of like a Van Helsing wandering around.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
And
Yeah.
I think in the concept art, there's like a woman playing the violin, which is obviously the musician. That's awesome. Like to actually feel like a real eerie, like Austrian monster town. It'd be so cool.
Do you know what I think would be funny? Though, having said that about the restrooms, if as you're walking out, there's like a little whisper
Like Moaning Myrtle.
coming coming over your shoulders for some people saying, "You didn't wash your hands."
I mean, I could think of worse things they could say, but
Yes.
that would be cool.
They have like random team members walking around with pitchforks.
Just while you're having a wee, it's like, my fingers around your throat. That would be funny. They should do that. Oh my god, this land has so much potential.
I've just invented a drink
does.
for it.
Number one.
Without a doubt, number one. It's just, yeah. I think, Tracy, you talked about it when we were watching that video, that the perfect spot for this is going to be the golden hour. Just as the sun's starting to set, it will be eerie as especially if
It
they
will.
pump out like mist and fog, like Horror Nights.
Just a little.
And I hope in the video again, Michelle, there was like a big clock tower, like a tower with a bell. I hope that bell's real and it does actually ring out, because that would be
Ring,
creepy.
yes.
Like a proper old school bell would be so cool.
And then the burning windmill.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
I didn't even think about synthetic fog. That would be amazing if they pump some of that
every
at
night,
nighttime.
just at dusk would be like just a thin layer across the ground. So awesome.
So when you think back to Horror Nights and Chupacabra and Blood Moon, the way they were set up with like the interior village, the village square type things. This is what that kind of atmosphere feeling. That's what I'm expecting from this. It's going to be amazing.
If they don't do a Horror Nights house next year called Dark Universe, they're missing a trick, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got to do some kind of something that has to do with Halloween Horror Nights in this land. Like even not Halloween Horror Nights, but Halloween something.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
Or maybe like a special experience that they can, like a adult only at night. I don't know. There just seems like there's so many opportunities here for them to do something.
Yeah. Park After Dark.
Park After Dark.
After Dark Universe. There you go. It's just there.
Yep.
After Dark more.
Universe.
Oh, wow.
You're welcome, Universal, by the way.
More dark universe. How about that?
We'll send you the bill.
Yeah, it's free.
I'm going to stop because my brain is just racing with loads of things.
I know, that's the problem.
I guess can also sink their teeth into delicious fare and shop all new merchandise and apparel during their visit to Dark Universe at highly themed dining and retail locations, including...
In your best German accent, please, Chris.
Okay. Das Steakhouse?
Steakhouse? Where did you get the N from?
In German, the N is
Silent.
invisible.
All right, invisible. That's what the invisible man
That invisible German N.
Yes. Das Steakhouse is Darkmoor's most ominous restaurant. This establishment is a dining hall run by vampire familiars who size up unsuspecting patrons to be part of the vampire's feast. So cool. Surrounded by artwork and artifacts detailing the history of the village's creatures of the night, guests can enjoy a menu of kebabs, burgers, sandwiches, and more.
Yes.
And I just have to point out that this is spelled steakhouse, Stake house.
So I hope the servers are actually playing along as vampire familiars because, oh my God, Universal haven't really done anything like that. And they're starting to do things like, Michelle, like you said, the things that we've been crying out on the podcast for years for Universal to do. And this seems like it's their first step into doing a proper themed restaurant on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to ask, though, and I don't know whether this is just only we got it, but are we going to be hearing lots of people quoting what we do in the shadows?
Probably.
Because that's my first thought when I saw the concept art for it.
If there's not a server doing his best Matt Berry impression, I'm not going.
Nando.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed this isn't a steakhouse, though.
It's
it says
interesting.
Menu
Yes.
of kebabs, burgers, and sandwiches. It's called Das Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Like, it should be
Weird.
a steakhouse.
I thought it was.
And then it says kebabs, burgers, and sandwiches. You're like, okay, interesting.
Yeah. Seems like they missed the mark there slightly.
Yeah, that is a little weird. Unless the steak sandwiches, I guess they'll get around it that way. And steak burgers.
Serving up a steak with some kind of bloody looking sauce on the top with a knife going, wooden something.
I was going
going
to say
through
wooden steak had better be holding the burgers together.
Oh, yes.
Lee's excited
My
now.
wallet isn't big enough for this park, let alone this
You better
land.
get a second job, Lee.
And a third.
I've got one. It just doesn't pay.
True.
Okay, get a third that pays.
I'm so excited for this land.
Yes.
I'm excited about this one too. So I saw this next one in the interactive display thing at Preview Center. So cool. The Burning Blade Tavern. Despite the blades of the windmill still smoldering and flaming periodically, Darkmoor's monster hunters have transformed this old fiery mill into their favorite hangout. While enjoying a menu of burgers, wings, bratwurst, pretzels, and specialty beverages, guests will hear stories of the infamous hounds, boastful hunters from beyond Darkmoor, all while surrounded by an impressive display of the monster heads they consider their trophies.
Again, going down the same route as the other one. A theme, a story, hopefully servers playing roles. It's just a dream come true. Just amazing.
This one-
cocktails.
Do we think this one is like a quick service and the other one's an actual sit down?
Well, from the images, the other one is a sit down. So yeah, maybe
steakhouse.
so maybe this one is
Makes sense to have one that people are going to have to book to get in, and then one people can just rock in and out of during the day.
But what's disappointing me is both have burgers. Both
'Cause
have
people like
sandwiches. Like
burgers.
what?
I don't.
That one doesn't say sandwiches, to be fair.
Oh, that's true.
Burgers, wings, and bratwurst.
Nope.
No, what?
Probably not going to eat a burger. Don't do wings.
Well, then don't
do
go.
sausage.
You're not selling yourself on a food podcast right now.
Not
is
on
a
a food
tavern.
podcast right now.
Yeah, but you are. You what, Chris?
Yeah, this menu makes sense in a tavern.
Yeah.
Tavern. You got premium cocktails there, Tracy.
Oh yes.
What, Jack and Coke?
Yes.
Oh, best ones ever.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Was it the video that talked about the flames on the burning blades that are different types of gas, I think, being used? So during the daytime you can see it better, and nighttime you see it differently.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So this is
cool.
the Gringotts dragon, isn't it? Effectively of Darkmoor.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. Okay, next up we have DeLacy's Cottage. Near Frankenstein Manor sits DeLacy's Cottage food stand, where the original Frankenstein's monster once received sustenance and friendship. Here, guests can find a variety of snacks and cool treats like cinnamon bread, ice cream, twisted taters, and more. But no cottage pie.
Why?
It's cottage.
Twisted potatoes.
Sustenance and friendship is so funny together. I don't know why.
Yeah.
This is a little Yorkshire girl,
Because
isn't
it's
it?
all
Yeah.
anybody really needs, right?
That is kind of weird.
I wouldn't say twisted. It's funny because they don't. Do they sell twisted taters anywhere at Universal other than during like Horror Nights or Mardi Gras? That's interesting
No.
because people love them. So I'm surprised they don't.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, it wouldn't make sense. But I'm like, it's like the world famous chocolate that gets sold through schools where they're like, all right, but people buy them because they're not available all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
that's
I'm not a fan
what
of
they do with
twisted
twisted
taters. To be
taters.
fair,
I've never had one.
because
You go, you don't want one of them.
you want them to be crispy and they're not.
I don't want a crispy one.
They're soggy.
That's it.
Ask them to double fry them.
We did, and they were still
I love
soggy.
crispy.
Guests can also take home a piece of the immortal world of Dark Universe with commemorative merchandise and mementos from retail locations like Pretorius's Scientific Oddities.
No, it's just Pretorius.
Pretorius Scientific Oddities.
Yes, I will.
Oh my
Many
God.
of them. Because that merch that I've been seeing already is like, oh yeah, I'm having one of each.
Yeah, it's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Just pre-register the credit card, Tracy.
The company one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question is, are you guys going to try to come out when it first opens, or are you going to wait later in the year?
I mean, it's going to come down to whether that
finances.
credit card's big enough.
Yeah.
Well, you got to apply for one first, sir.
Crack on then. Who do I apply to? You? Do you need that in writing, or can I just ask for it here?
This is so awesome. This is by far my most exciting announcement they've made about
Without
this park.
a doubt.
Yeah. You see, I had a thought there with the windmill. What was it called?
The Burning Blade Tavern.
Yes. So we've got pretzels. Now, what have they just done with Shrek?
Those Shrek pretzels are cool.
What if they made windmill pretzels?
That would be cool. Or a Frankenstein.
With a
it should be a
spicy dip.
Frankenstein's head. That's what it's going to be.
With a spicy dip.
Yeah. It'll be Frankenstein
Yeah.
monster's head.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be.
Probably. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for this.
I was excited before the announcement. I'm just, the rest of them.
Wow.
Honestly.
I mean, I could spend all day in this one area.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, lucky for us, there's an expansion plot right next to it.
I think it will be
Yeah.
the most picturesque land, quite honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
because it's unlike anything else in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, if Super Nintendo World didn't exist yet,
Yeah.
I think the conversation would be a bit different, right?
Yes.
Because like to think of being inside of a Nintendo video game is mind-blowing as well. But I think since we've seen it already so much, some of us here even more so in person.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right, you know.
Shut up.
Yeah. I think that changes the conversation. But
Agreed.
with that aside,
Yeah.
I agree with you. This is by far one of the coolest lands, and I'm glad they own the IPs on this. I said that earlier,
Yeah.
but I am glad they own it because they can do whatever the hell they want.
That's exactly what I was just about to say, because think about, not only they can do whatever they want, they don't have to get permission, but also they've got like a much bigger budget for this land because they didn't have to pay for an IP.
Yeah.
So budget's bigger. They have creative freedom 100%. And I think that's also why most of us HHN like fans really love the originals so much. They're allowed to do what they want to, and they can really build them out. Whereas like when they do Stranger Things, they're really limited as to what they're allowed to do. And sometimes they miss the mark. This is just going to be like, they're going to knock it out the park.
Yeah. The thing with Horror Nights houses as well, are the IPs, just going off tack a little bit, is you have a preconceived idea of what that house is going to be. So, Chris, someone says The Last of Us, and instantly you picture that house in your head, and it's never going to be what you imagine. Whereas an original, you have no idea what it's going to be. You can kind of imagine certain things, but you know what you expect from an IP house, especially if you're a fan of that IP, and it's never going to be what you want it to be because of those limitations.
True.
But this just looks amazing. Mm-hmm. It really does.
It really, really does.
Yeah. Very excited for it. Okay, and we are going to move on to some more Producers Club birthdays. So the 28th of June, we have Adam Pagan's birthday. Happy birthday, Adam!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Adam.
And we have birthday triplets. This doesn't happen very often. June the 30th sees Rachel Merritt's birthday. Happy birthday, Rachel!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Rachel.
And it's also Nora Martinez's birthday. Happy birthday, Nora!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And it's our very own Alexis Zavala's birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Alexa.
Feliz cumpleaños, baby.
Aw.
It's not the baby's birthday.
Soon.
That we know of. It's not the 30th yet.
Yeah. And July the 7th is Rachel Hoffmeyer's birthday. Happy birthday, Rachel!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Rachel.
Happy birthday, Rachel.
And not actually a producer, but it's also Michelle's other half. It's Nancy's birthday on the 30th. Happy birthday, Nancy!
Happy birthday, Nancy.
Happy birthday, Nancy.
Will she hear that? Does she listen?
I'll make her listen to it.
Would she if you didn't?
No.
All right.
So as usual, wishing you all lots of cake. Nancy, it needs to be a really big cake, I'm telling you. Okay. We're going to take a break and listen to our sponsors, and we'll be back.
I wish to go to Walt Disney World.
When you wish upon a star.
The Gryffindors creak and the tombstones quake.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Where can our vacation wizards take you? Just tap the port key at portkeyvacations.com and let the magic begin.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a nice listen there. We did. So, Chris and Michelle recently went out to Orlando.
Boo!
Hiss.
Yay.
To have fun without us.
Boo!
Hiss. They also went, as well as having fun, they went out to check out the new offerings. So, let's have a little chat about it, shall we?
We haven't done like a proper trippy trip
No, we
report
haven't.
for a while, so
Let's start with the Epic Preview Centre, because we're very excited about this, obviously.
Because you both ignored, didn't watch anything of it before going out, did you?
No.
No.
Did it live up to your
And just to
expectations?
preface, the weekend that we went was an extremely heavy downpour weekend. So
Really?
I think Michelle got to do a few of the things more than we were able to. We said we weren't going again until later on, and we're now thinking about trying to go back to actually we didn't even do the AR experience.
Right.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how fast we were blowing through things. Michelle, you did that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to do it, but the internet was super slow and it was pouring, and I had family there. And if you've ever been
Just
on a
too much
family
going
trip,
on.
you know how hard it is to jump around between family and
Yes.
friends and all that stuff. So unfortunately, we didn't experience as much. I mean, there's some things here that we did and we really liked, but from the preview center for us, I mean, it was just seeing that whole model out there was just super cool. I wanted to do the AR experience, but yeah, we're going to try to go back to do that. But yeah, Michelle, how was it?
It was super cool. So we actually popped in there for about a good 20 minutes or so while we were waiting for our reservation at Cowfish. And it was so cool. Like so the center of the room is just this giant model. And then all around it, you have to download this app. They tell you how to do it. So you download this app and then you point your camera at different parts of the model, and in your phone, it brings it to life. So it'll like put little people walking through or characters or the Wolfman jumping around.
Nice.
And if you aim it at certain buildings, it'll show you like a little clip of what it's going to look like inside the buildings too. So there's some little secret things or like the ride, the dark ride at Dark Universe. It showed a little bit of that. So it's a very, very cool idea for sure. And then all around the room, they've got all of the different portals set up as like areas where you can take pictures, which I actually did not do. But there's
it was slammed when I went as well.
I can imagine.
It was hard to take photos.
Of course.
Yeah, it was pretty busy. And then each portal has like its own merchandise kind of in that area too. So it was neat. It really was. Sometimes it was difficult to get into the model just because there were so many people standing around.
Yeah.
But
so I will say, Lee, you had mentioned something to me, and you were absolutely right in reference to not comparing, but you had mentioned the previous preview center.
Yeah, the Islands of Adventure one.
And how you were like, this is not that. And it very much isn't that. Not to say that this isn't cool, but I think the original preview center just had a lot more going on for it.
I think the difference was they had a lot more space back then to do something like that, didn't they? Whereas now space is a bit of a premium for Universal, and they wanted to put it out into City Walk, which obviously back then they didn't have City Walk because that was only getting built.
Yeah, but the flip side of that, yes, you can make that argument, but now this was back in '98, so I don't remember the details. But this was half trying to show you a preview center, half trying to sell you merch, whereas the old preview center was just a preview center. There was more merch here than there was preview center.
But welcome to 2024.
So I think they could have done how the old preview center was if they weren't trying to sell all that merch. But I get it.
Yeah, there definitely is a lot of merch in there. It's like a miniature store, to be honest.
I find it weird. I find it weird as well. It's like I personally wouldn't want to buy merch for a park or a land that hasn't opened yet.
No, I didn't either.
Some of the Darkmoor stuff was cool, but again, I just couldn't spend enough time in there to actually pick something up.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Epic Universe actual merchandise was cool, but again, like Lee just said, I'm not really interested in buying that stuff until
you're there.
Go. Yeah.
Because you want to be able to say that you bought it at the park, not, well, I bought it a year before in City Walk. It's a bit weird.
Right.
Yeah. Imagine buying a ride shirt and then actually going on that ride and hating it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like buying an Epic Universe top and going, I hate that park. God, this could burn this bloody thing.
Buying Fast and Furious merch before the ride.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's just 2024,
Guys, this
isn't
is
it?
going to be the best ever.
Yeah. I think that's just 2024. It's any opportunity to sell merch to people now. Look at when they do for Horror Nights.
Surprised they weren't selling butterbeers in there.
Yeah. Don't give them time.
Yeah. But it was cool. I mean, it was something that they didn't have to do.
True.
Yeah, I wasn't knocking it. I'm just comparing it because I haven't seen the other one, but it's cool either way.
Does it educate people like the commoner who doesn't?
The commoner? You mean the sweaty masses?
Who doesn't obsess about the parks like we do?
1% speak.
I don't know, but
no, I mean, you know what I mean? Like just the normal day guest who visits and they don't go like all the time. Do you think, Chris, that it was enough in there to really educate those people of what to expect? I don't think so, because you really had to
I took my family there. I took my family in there, and I was like, "This is." I'm explaining to them. They're like, "Oh, okay," and they just walked away. Like, it just looks like a model there, and like, oh, it looks like a cool model. I guarantee you, there's people walking in there going, "Oh, it's a model of this park. Cool."
Yes.
Like
yes.
islands or something. Like not even thinking, no, that's a brand new thing.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because you don't realize how immersed in this stuff we are until you talk to people who aren't as immersed in it. I said before, one of the girls at work, the one who asked me about Horror Nights and like, what's the deal with tickets and stuff, and she got an answer she didn't expect to get.
You do like to go a bit over the top as well, though.
She said to me a couple of months back, like, "Oh, have you seen they're building a new theme park, Universal?" And I'm like, "Where the hell have you been?"
Right.
Like, no, that's brand new information.
It's like, yeah, we went over in my friend's car and kind of drove around it when we were over there last year. So yeah, I know they're building a new park over there. Sorry, Kirsty.
Look, they're not alone in that.
No.
Literally, I was telling my parents, which they have annual passes. They come to the parks. They get emails. They get stuff. But unless you're really, I think you have to like be kind of, I don't want to say obsessed, but the way we are into it, or more than just your average, as Michelle would say, commoner.
The unwashed masses.
My mom was, I took her in there and she loves seeing all this stuff, and I showed her all this, and she's literally asking me, she's like, "But what is it? Like, is it a new park or is it Universal?" And I had to explain that. So
interesting.
I don't know if for your average park goer, whether that comes across that way. I don't think it
translated. Yeah, because this trip I was with my family too. I took my sister, who's never been to Universal at all, for her 60th birthday. And so when we went in there, I too had to explain it to her. And she was like, "Oh, so this is a new park?" "Yeah." "Is it like, where is it going to be? Is it like here? Or is it a different city?"
Like
I'm
a
like,
mile
"No,
down the road.
It's here. Like, it's part of Universal."
Like, I think the old preview center did a better job at getting people up to date, because you walked in and you'd get the passport and you got to go to these things to get stamps. These are different lands in a new park, and you're doing an activity, whereas when you walked in here, there was a lady holding a sign that had a QR code for you to download the app to do the AR.
Right.
And to your average person, I'm not downloading another app. And then I was trying to download the app. Internet sucked in there, so I couldn't even get it in time to do the AR experience. And that's why I didn't do it, because it's just slow in there.
Yeah.
And so it's I think the knowledge transfer is it's not great.
Right.
But yeah.
And out of the probably maybe 50 to 75 people that were in there at the time that I was, there were only, I think, maybe 3 of us that were doing the AR with our phones.
Okay. That's a shame.
Odd.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a longer discussion than I expected it to be.
Let's discuss DreamWorks Land, which it looks so
it
cool.
looks awesome. We've watched a ton of vlogs. It looks cool.
Chris, why don't you start that out? Because you had your little niece with you, didn't you?
I did. Well, kind of. Just towards the end for a little bit. I'll say for DreamWorks Land, I didn't get to experience that either as much, because the one day that we did was Friday, and that day we met up with our group that was there, Griswolds, Jill, Madeline, Kyle, and we explored DreamWorks Land. But it was raining really bad, so a lot of the characters and things that are supposed to be happening aren't going on at that time. There was even like water features, from what I could tell, that were off in the area. That aside, it is a gorgeous area. It is, I think it's a fantastic addition to the area from a adult's perspective, at least. We did, Lex and I have done the old one before, but I think visually it's stunning. Roller coaster, it's Woody Woodpecker rethemed.
Yeah.
I think the panda, the Kung Fu Panda area is beautiful as well. There's water features there. You can do some interactive stuff. I didn't see the There, again, on the inside, there's supposed to be some kind of character thing that
Yeah,
you
we've watched
interact
it.
with.
It's
They
cool.
weren't there because it was raining. So I have to go back. Like, again, we were going to go back on Sunday to do this, but Sunday was 8,000 degrees. Alexa wasn't feeling too great,
Yeah.
and we just couldn't do another park day
Fair
there.
enough.
So I'd hope to go back to experience it. We did get some food. I will say food wasn't amazing.
Uh-huh.
I never got the hot dog thing
The swamp
because they
dog.
sold out the
Wow.
swamp dog. I wanted it so bad, but they kept on selling out. So I ended up getting some kind of, it wasn't the pretzel, it was something else there. It was
the waffle
it
thing.
was like a grilled cheese.
The pizza waffle thing.
Yeah.
Not good. No.
Really?
That was, I didn't even finish it. Yeah. I had
Wow.
like 2 bites. There's not enough stuff on the inside. Like it's
Oh.
very thin. It's kind of dry. And even with the sauce, it just wasn't there. I gave it to Alexa. She didn't like it either. I
Because
don't know
on
if anybody else
paper,
tried it.
on paper, it looks great. Like, what's not to like? Waffle,
100%.
pizza, hey. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they shoved like more stuffings in there,
Okay.
like more cheese or
Yeah.
something, it would be better. But not as it was. But yeah, that would be. Yeah, we want to go back and try more stuff. We
Okay.
just again we couldn't. It was just a muggy day.
Mm.
Yeah. So I had a differently similar experience. So it wasn't raining, but we entered that land at about 7 p.m. with a park close time of 9 p.m. And there was already, it felt like there was already a lot closed. Like
Yes.
the characters weren't out anymore. So I didn't see any of them. And there were 2 shows happening at 7:30. One was the Poe Live and one was the DreamWorks character, whatever it was. So we chose to go and do the Poe Live.
Okay.
Um,
Which looks super cool.
so
Yeah.
Oh,
it was all right. But let me just talk walking through. Overall, as Chris said, it's a great addition. It was needed. It's a great place for people that have young children. The park needed that. So there was lots of cool little like interactive areas for them to play, either whether it be like the virtual kitten, Puss
Yeah.
in Boots thing, or there was lots of water features, cool like splash pad kind of stuff. There was a little playground feature that wasn't wet. So a very cool place for families to go and just chill and let their kids be kids for a while. I did not go up like in the swamp play area thing at all. I wanted to, but I didn't.
looks like Camp Jurassic.
Yeah, with all the climbing stuff and
Yeah.
the slides and stuff.
The one that farts when you come down. See, I love that. Only at Universal, there's a slide where you go down and it makes farty noises as you go down.
Oh, hilarious. Yeah. There was a lot of kids up there, so I wasn't going to rain on their parade, but yeah, a very needed addition. So I did Troller Coaster. Again, it's the same as it was before. It's just painted much prettier. And I love the little butt crack on the back of the train. It cracks me up.
Pardon the pun.
It cracks
So
you
that
up.
was-
Oh.
It cracks me up. It was fun. And then Poe Live, I had high expectations for based on Turtle Talk with Crush
Yes.
experience over at Epcot. It really 100% missed the mark for me.
Really?
I was sad about it. Yeah, because we got there like 15 minutes before the show started. We sat down, we were chilling. So it's that whole Curious George ball pit area in the back. And they did not take down that structure at all. All they did was take off the walls. So it's still covered, but there's no walls around it. But you still have that upper level where you can go up there and stand if you want to watch the show from up there. There's a few benches around like the perimeter, but the whole middle floor is just open. I don't know if that area ever gets packed for those shows, but when I was there, it was not. There was maybe 50 people in there.
Just to add to your bench thing, did you feel like there was not that much seating in that land?
No, there really wasn't.
Like even when you're eating your food, we were just sitting like on a ledge somewhere, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's one thing. I hate that about theme parks, especially Universal, when there's a lot of grab and go stuff that there's nowhere to grab and go
Nowhere
to.
to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They want you to go.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yep. Well, back to Poe Live. So the screen itself, I don't know if somebody damaged it or they just didn't install it well, but there's like a line that goes like straight down the middle of the screen.
Ooh.
That looked very distracting to me. And Poe himself was cute. He was funny, but like the storyline was very lackluster. It wasn't he wasn't very interactive with the audience like Turtle Talk with Crush was. I don't know if it was the actor that just wasn't being super funny or if that's just like the script they have to go by. But like, them making you get up and try to learn these silly kung fu moves, they could have done it better. Like like half of the room was like a tiger and they just had to go roar.
Okay.
And the other half had to put their hands in the air and do a little kick. And that was it. Like it was kind of stupid. And then we had to yell every time we saw Ling Ling.
Yeah.
It was not Turtle Talk with Crush.
Because we watched
imagination.
Jackie Super Enthused, we watched her vlog from it. It looked all right.
Nah,
it's a shame.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It was okay. It was just okay. And then it just kind of ended. It just kind of abruptly was like, okay, bye. And he only interacted with one person in the audience like the whole time. There was no like overall audience interaction. It was just like...
Oh, that's weird.
No, to be fair, when Jackie did it, it was just her.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, though. It's weird, though.
Yeah.
Because when you've done other things like that, there's other audience members are pulled into it as well.
Yeah, even if it's just like pointing out, like with Turtle Talk, Crush will like kind of make digs at, especially the adults. Sometimes they do throw in some like adult humor and stuff too. This felt very scripted.
Oh,
okay.
I had high hopes for that because you what they do with the Mystic Fountain.
Yeah,
because that was always one of our favorites. Yeah, we do. Oh,
okay.
Did you do the Mama Luna, the feline thing?
No, I didn't go in there. I saw it. I watched a bunch of kids in there doing it, but I didn't go in there.
Can I say that is, I think, the weirdest attraction I've ever seen.
I've only seen bits and bobs of it, but it looks like a video screen interactive thing.
Or you go and pet cats.
No, that's the thing. You're torturing cats.
Oh, I'm all over it then.
You're not petting cats. All you're doing is hitting things when they turn green to knock cats off of things, push them over, and like literally fling them around. You're not doing anything nice to them.
Wow.
What the heck?
It's the weirdest attraction. And then like the other thing that just threw me off was like the screens, like, or at least the visuals seem like they're 10 years old. Like,
yes, the same
like
with Poe Live. Yes.
It's very weird.
That is. That's so disappointing.
Yeah, but the cat one has to be the most oddest attraction I've done. Like I walked in there, like our group walked in there and we didn't really know what to do. We just started hitting things and all we were doing was just knocking cats around. I'm like, okay, cool.
This is teaching kids
That's what
really
I'm saying.
good
it's
things.
not anything good towards a cat, but
your niece is going to come to your house now and torture your cat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah, no, you're right. The screen, like I said about the line, I was like, did some punk kid, because that whole area is open. Like before the show, it's not closed off. You can go in there and just sit down.
Okay.
And you see like just Poe's shadow like behind the curtain, kind of walking back and forth, doing something funny every now and then. So you can just walk up to that screen. So I was like, did somebody like some punk kid mess it up?
Interesting.
Probably one of the cats.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see Pinocchio and interact with him?
I saw him up there at the entrance of the playground area, but I did not go in there.
That's the first thing I'm doing when I go into that land.
Yeah.
What was really hilarious... okay, wait, two things. So over in the Kung Fu training camp area, I thought there was supposed to be that interactive like restaurant thing.
No. I think there was rumors of it, but I don't know whether they actually said it was happening.
Concept art of it.
I don't know. I think we maybe talked about the potential for it coming, but I don't think it ever was an actual thing.
I don't know. I'm going to look up. I can guarantee you there's concept art. But anyway.
Yeah, but isn't that
I was
out
kind
in
of disappointed
Hollywood?
that wasn't there.
I think that's out in Hollywood. I don't think there was ever talk of it being here. I think we just talked like, I hope they bring that over here.
Well, so remember in the Curious George where they had all of the water stuff and then they had the big dump thing where it dumps water?
Yeah.
So that still kind of exists. It's just rethemed. Well, we were over playing on the noodle bowls across the way of the water stuff. And this couple, they were probably in their mid to late 20s, were walking up where the water stuff was. And there was no kids over there or anything playing. And they walked through and the girl got dunked. I mean, like she was just walking, minding her own business. And then bam, just like drenched. And she did not move. She didn't move a muscle, didn't speak for like 5 minutes.
Brilliant.
Wow.
She just stood there with her backpack and her food in her hand. Like,
oh my God.
I don't know what to do. It was great.
I need to see that on Epic Fails video on YouTube soon.
It was awesome. So that was fun to watch. But yeah. So was it like fun for me as an adult? No. Curious George Ball Pit was way funner. But kids will have fun. Little kids. Krissa, no. Little kids, yes.
Oh,
okay.
Well, I feel we should move far, far away and cross over and go and tell us about Hogwarts Always.
Because I know, Chris, you didn't see it, did you?
Oh, no. Unfortunately not.
I didn't see it either.
Really?
Oh.
I am surprised.
I tried.
What?
Nope, I didn't see it. The time that we were going to see it, there were no show times listed.
That's weird.
And it says on select nights. So we didn't park hop to go over there just to have it not show.
So because we didn't think we were coming over this year, we've watched a couple of vlogs of it, and the projection looks way clearer than
it's so much sharper.
The previous ones. It just looks like another good Hogwarts projection show.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks like they've updated the projectors for it. It does look way crisper.
Looks brighter as well, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sad I didn't see it, but I'll catch it in August.
Yeah. Okay then. So we can't talk about that. What about Cinesational? Whatever it's called.
I have seen all the reviews of this. If you two don't agree, I'll be very surprised.
Chris, did you see it?
I did.
Okay.
Did you?
Yep.
I think by that tone, I think we're both in agreement. Cinesational was awesome.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Wow. Yeah. Double F-bombs.
So let me just ask a question first, right?
Yeah.
As Chris, you know, I have been talking to the director of it. He is a friend of mine. Name drop. I'll just pick that up. Sorry.
We didn't drop his name, so you know.
No, I'm not going to either.
No.
And obviously we've talked about, we didn't know whether we were going to get to see it this year, and he was super disappointed and stuff. And obviously we are now, because it's apparently going to be around for a long time.
It should be.
The bar for me was Marathon of Mayhem from 2019. Comparing it to that, because I know you two loved it as much as we did. Comparing it to that, better, the same, or I'm guessing not worse.
I personally, I knew you were going to ask that, because the first thing I did was try to compare it to Marathon. I don't think you can compare them.
Okay.
And there's a reason why, I think, and Michelle, I don't know if you have a different thought on this, but so Marathon is the upper echelon of like amazing nighttime closer experience. It also hits on, the properties you love and all that. While this does share a lot of the same traits, right? You have the water features, you have the projection mapping in the background, the music playing and all that. This obviously does add the drones. This for a nighttime non-horror nights day at the park this is the best thing that they have done. Because if you were to add drones to Marathon, like it would blow this kind of out the water too. This show is great. I think the music on this show and the way it was mixed and put together is phenomenal. I think the music for me, and I'm a very big music guy, I think the music does it even more for me because it's a lot of the stuff that you grew up watching, and it's mixed beautifully, and it just pulls on those emotional strings. Unfortunately, we were all the way in the back because it was the first night of it showing, so you had to be there way early. So I didn't get a good view. Like, I'm gonna obviously go back and watch it and see it with the fountains. I can see some of the fountains, but I didn't have that complete see everything, see the fountains, see the backgrounds and drones and all. I didn't get that experience. But even without the fountains, I was still blown away. I thought what they did and how they use the drones, this isn't the most advanced way of using those drones. I've seen others that are better. I think Disney even did a better way of using the drones over at the Disney Spring Show. But that's not to take away from the show. I think the way they use them here fits in perfectly. You don't need a race going on in the sky to appreciate Fast and Furious, right? Yeah. It's kind of showing you these visuals. You're hearing the visuals, the music, you're getting a little bit of fireworks, you have the water fountains, and then the also the projection mapping they did in the background, like A1. Like, it was so good, I think. It was up there with Marathon of Mayhem in reference to how well it was done.
I mean, I'm going to reserve judgment because we're obviously going to get to see it this year. So we will do our review once we actually get to see it in person. But from what we've seen, I sat on the couch watching it and I teared up, I'll be honest. And I haven't done that at a nighttime show at Universal since Marathon of Mayhem.
So I'm going to very easily say that for me, Cinesational was better than Marathon of Mayhem.
Wow.
Really?
I literally left, like, that was the last thing we did. Obviously, the parks closed after that. While I was on the water taxi, I texted Kenneth and Maddie, and I wrote Cinesational, and then the better than sign, greater than sign, Marathon of Mayhem. And Kenneth wrote back, he was like, I'm going to have to disagree with you, although it's very good.
But here's the thing with what Michelle said, like, this is an actual debate one can have.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That you can actually compare these two in that sense, where somebody can like one over the other, as opposed to just, they put out something that's just like, don't even compare that to Marathon. No. You can actually discuss both, and you may have somebody liking one more than the other. And that's just personal preference. But I think that's a very valid statement that she made too.
Yep. Well, for me, it was the drones that put it over for Marathon of Mayhem. So I'd agree with you, Chris. If they would do Marathon of Mayhem and add in the drones, Marathon would probably take it back over. Yeah. However, the addition of the drones just tipped it over the edge.
The drones
for me.
are so great. They were just used perfectly, I think.
They were. And listen, so I didn't either have the perfect view. It was already crowded by the time we got in there. And so I was to like the right center, kind of back behind some of those boulders. So I could see the fountains, but I wasn't at the perfect angle to see the projections very clearly.
Right.
Yes.
On the water. I could see them on the building, but not on the water. So at some of the points I was like, dang it, I can't quite tell what that picture is. So there's definitely going to be a good viewing area. Yeah. It's not going to be something that you can watch from anywhere around the lagoon. And I do want to go watch it properly in the proper spot. Even though without seeing the projections on the water clearly, it still blew it out of the water for me. The music was so good. It was a nice long show too. Just when you think it's going to be over, because like the amount of how high the fountains were going and how loud the music was getting and the fact that there were fireworks, you think it's like the big finale. Nope, it keeps going. And then all of a sudden, like at the perfect moment, the drones would light up in this amazing like formation. You're like, what? Where'd that come from? Right. And then they kind of, sometimes they'll morph into something else and sometimes they just disappear.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they always came back at the perfect moment.
Again, they just a fantastic use of the drones. I mean, one of the things you just mentioned right now, Michelle, was going back to having that music. One of the transformations that I loved, and it's funny that that's the word we're using, was during the Transformers segment where it comes out as a Decepticon. And then you see it morphing into an Autobot.
Yeah.
Like in the sky. It's not disappearing and coming back. It is morphing.
No, it morphs.
And it's just so cool. And you're hearing the original 2007 Transformers soundtrack in the background. It takes you back to a place where it's like, oh my God, this is the coolest movie ever to come out. And it's just, it puts you in a state of mind. And I think that's what the same thing that like Marathon did, right? It puts you like in a place when you're hearing this music and you're seeing these visuals and seeing those drones with that as well. And also some pretty well used placements of like fireworks, right? There's a couple spots where it's done really well.
Yeah. I mean, and this will tell you how good the show was. This above all else, especially you and Tracy and Lee, because you guys have had teenagers before. So Krissa is the end of the night. She's 13. She's moody. She's in that doesn't want to talk stage.
Oh, I can't relate.
She thinks everything is uncool.
Oh, God.
Yeah. She's in that state. So she's tired. She's actually sitting on the ground behind the boulders looking at her phone. And when the show starts, I'm like, Krissa, put away your phone. She's like, no, I don't really care. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm going to enjoy this. Mm-hmm. So the beginning, like the first, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes, she's literally sitting on the floor, not even looking up because she's so engrossed in her phone. Shortly after that, something, I don't remember what it was that came up that got her attention. I looked down, she's got the phone put away. She's still sitting though. By the end of the thing, she was phone was out, but recording and standing up, beaming, smiling, singing along, and actually even dancing a little bit.
Wow.
And then she would be like, something would happen with the drones and she'd be like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? Like she kept doing the mind blown thing with her hand. For a teenager in that stage of life to be impressed is like the biggest compliment you can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went from literally just standing there, kind of thinking my feet are hurting, watching the show, to singing, to dancing with Audrey and being silly, singing at the top of our lungs, throwing our hands in the air, to tearing up, to clapping all throughout the thing, not just at the end, but clapping at various moments throughout the thing, cheering, going, whoa, because it was so awesome.
Wow.
It was good. Yeah.
And it just, this did not change, but it was a reminder of how good it was because I haven't seen a show in there in so long. But the speaker setup in that park is just so good.
Okay.
It just gets into your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I finished watching that show and the first thing that came to mind, because you always talk about it, about Universal needing that nighttime show to close out a day at the park. And my 2 cents is this is it and more. Like this will do it for you. There's no way nobody can see this and be like, it's good. Because the way it ended, Chris, right? Yeah.
Like,
we've seen it. We know.
End of the night.
And like you said, it's a pretty long show. I did not expect it to be that long. Was it like 15, 20 minutes almost?
Oh, it was more than, it was like 30 minutes.
No, it's not. It's about 22 minutes, I think.
It has to be longer than that because I remember looking at my watch.
They do play a little bit of music prior to it starting though. So it
started at 9:01 and I remember looking down at my watch and it was 9:21 and it was not over.
It's 22 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for you guys to watch it.
I am excited. Like
obviously,
I say,
don't watch anything online. If you're going to see it, go see it. Oh, you saw it already?
Yeah. Well, I don't think we've seen the whole thing.
It was so good.
Yeah, I teed up just watching what we watched from vlogs. So if it's getting me sat on the couch, then after a day in the park, sitting watching, I'm going to be a mess.
Yeah, watch it on your final night trip.
We'll watch it every
night. Yeah.
It's going to be one of those things that I have to see every trip now, at least once.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
Awesome.
That's been a show. That's going to wrap up this week's show. Don't forget to send in your Which Stick Gets Your Lick recordings to podcast@uuopodcast.com. But to end this show, we have a listener submitted How Bad is Fast and Furious from the one and only Gillian Dunn.
Oh,
hey.
No. Oh, man.
Okay, are you ready? Fast and Furious Supercharged is so bad.
How bad is it?
Fast and Furious Supercharged is so bad the team members have to draw straws for who has to test the ride in the morning prior to opening.
I That's probably true, actually.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no.
Please send us your fun facts about how bad Fast and Furious Supercharged is and which stick gets your lick. And you can send those recordings, please, to podcast@uuopodcast.com. And that's going to do it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Are you insane? Get out of here. The curse, it's real. The podcast is over. So, the Magi want you to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcast news and articles, check out our blog at uuopodcast.com. Contact us by emailing us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And if you want to join the Producers Club, email us at uuopproducers@gmail.com. Silence! With your subscriptions, we shall rule for all eternity. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Not even the Magi can save you now. There is no escape. Your end shall be my beginning. Prepare yourself for your next trip by emailing Michelle at portkeyvacations.com. She can take care of all aspects of your next Universal Orlando vacation. We hope you enjoyed your podcast. Please remain seated and keep your arms and legs inside the prepare to forfeit your souls. Check out the other podcasts on the UUOP network. Rush of Fear, Halloween Horror Nights podcast, the theme park duo for all your West Coast news and info, and the Taste of Universal, Universal Orlando food podcast. So hey, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. I would have enjoyed this podcast a lot more if I had gotten my cup of coffee.